Hello. So I thought I'd provide an update on my coronectomy situation. Uh, just a quick summary. 2 weeks ago, I had a coronectomy on this tooth. I've done two videos previous. It was basically quite a high risk case, my situation. So my nerve actually went through the root. It goes through the root of my wisdom tooth there, literally through it, not around it, through it. I'm also 42. The roots of the tooth were curved. The bone's denser. My tooth was a bit decayed. It was all a bit high risk. And I really wanted a coronectomy. I made videos about it before. I managed to get a coronectomy, thankfully. And so far, it's all gone well. 2 weeks, that was 2 weeks ago. Everything's gone fine. It was much less pain than I thought it would be. Had the painkillers, but then it's gone. It's been fine. The procedure was fine. Everything about it has been surprisingly good and fine, and except for one thing, which is I've got nerve damage. And the update today is that it's still there. So it's 2 weeks. Now I'm not too fussed about that. I still feel optimistic that it's going to go away eventually. Nerves take a long time to heal. So I'm imagining it will. I'm just going to give it weeks and months and maybe even years. It's not bothering me that much. It's not a huge problem for me. So it's a kind of burning sensation as well. It's not numb. And I'll talk about it more in a minute, but I think it will heal over time. So yeah, I'll talk about the nerve damage first, and then I'll talk about what's happened in the last week or two since I last made a video, just the recovery and stuff, and then what I plan to do in the future. So the nerve damage part, I would say, so it's like a burning sensation. It feels like if I had sat out in the sun too long and put suntan lotion all around my face apart from this bit, and this bit just got burnt. It feels like it's sore, and it's just like a bit stingy. And I would say the pain is like somewhere, it fluctuates between like a 1 and a 4, which is to say, my definition of a 5 or above pain would be a pain that is kind of a problem now, and I need to kind of sort it out and do something about it. Whereas anything below 5 is like, I can live with it. It's not that big a deal. It's annoying, and when it gets to a 4, it's like, it's just to that point where it's like, it's annoying, but it hasn't really affected my life that much. Maybe sleep. Sometimes when I go to sleep, it's a little annoying, but actually, and I think I've been having restless sleep. But that may just be because it's new and I haven't gotten used to it yet. So I don't know whether it's waking me up or not. But it's not that big a deal. I can seem to be able to fall asleep fine. Everything else in my life I could do fine, pretty much. It's just annoying. Sometimes I have noticed that my speech occasionally is a little certain words that have like a f or a v, any sound that I have to put my tooth, connect it with this lip here. Occasionally I back out of it. I go a bit like I don't fully commit to the sound, and I can't think of a word that I make, but I don't fully say the word. I've noticed that, but I think I'm getting used to that now as well. I'm just kind of learning to that I can just. I don't think that would be a big problem. So that's not too big of a problem. Eating and stuff is like, I'm just getting used to it now. It's almost like I think I am getting used to it now. It's becoming like a part of me, and like, so when I eat, I just recognize that feeling now, and that's just normal now. So I mean, all of this is to say that I think you could get used to this if it was permanent. I don't think it's like absolutely terrible, but then at the same time, I'm older. I've seen younger people make these videos, and I can see why it would be worrying, especially if you're younger and you think, God, I've got to live with this forever. That would be annoying. But at the moment, I'm still pretty certain I won't have to live with it forever. I think it's like 90% of people that have nerve damage, it's temporary. It's only like a small proportion actually ends up being permanent. And given the fact that I can feel things, it's not numb. I can feel a little bit, and the fact that I had a coronectomy, so the nerve isn't actually severed or anything like that. So I would expect it to heal back. But I was hoping to have had at least a sign of improvement. because I don't know if nerves heal in a linear fashion or if they kind of have different speeds. Because if it's a linear fashion, then I was hoping to if it had been half healed by 2 weeks post surgery, then it'll be fully healed in a month. But the fact that I don't think there's been much of a change, just makes me think, well, that means I'm probably it's going to take me like 3 months or something for this to go away. But maybe not. Maybe it will just suddenly, in a flurry, just suddenly get better in a couple of weeks. So we'll see. There has been like fluctuation though. So what I would say is the pain fluctuates between like a 1 and a 4 out of 10, I would say. And it's partly psychological and partly actual. So which is to say, sometimes when I'm distracted and I'm focused on something else, I forget that the pain's there. So it's a weird thing. I can just be, if I'm fully engrossed in something else, I just forget it's there, and I have to kind of touch and think, oh, is it gone? And I touch it and I'm like, oh no, it is still there. So I don't think the pain actually goes, but sometimes your psychological state is like this is a pain relieving technique in life, which is that if you just focus on other things and don't focus on the pain, it actually, the pain just goes away almost. You actually forget it's there. So that's one way that the pain disappears. But then the other way is with high blood pressure. So if I'm ever doing exercise or I've gone back to work, and when I'm working, I do a cleaning job, and so it's a bit more moderate labour. When the blood pressure goes a bit higher, I think that's when I feel it at its worst. Sometimes when I'm cycling, I feel it like then. But when I'm relaxed, not doing anything, I think the pain goes down a bit. Now, again, that could be my imagination, but that's my sense of the way it fluctuates. And also when I sleep at night, I'm still sleeping with my head elevated. I don't know if I have to do that, but I just have a kind of hunch, a theory that it's worse when I put my head down. But to be honest, I'm not sure if that's true. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I've actually rolled over and my head's been down all night, and it doesn't seem any worse. So I probably could sleep with my head down. But I've just been quite comfortable. I've gotten into the habit of sleeping with my head elevated now and just feeling quite cozy. So I've just been doing that for now. So that's the pain part of it. It fluctuates 1 to 4. The little ants crawling feeling is kind of, I still get them occasionally, but it's less, ever so okay, because I kind of liked them before, because I kind of imagined that my nerves were healing every time I felt it. But I still feel them occasionally, little twinges. So that's happening occasionally. And I don't know, sometimes I imagine, I think to myself, God, maybe it has gotten a bit, but like sometimes I touch my lip and my lip doesn't feel as bad as it did the day before, or this chin part, and I think, oh, is it getting better? But then the next day it's like, I mean, sometimes I actually think it may have even gotten worse, which I'm not sure if, again, it might just be my imagination, but because I think that's more to do with, in the first 72 hours or so, I had a lot of other kind of aches just in general around this area on this cheek. And so by comparison, it didn't seem as bad. Whereas now I've got like hardly any pain anywhere else. So maybe it just seems worse. I don't know. It's all very hard to tell. But yeah, I think it's about the same. And if it is getting better, it's very, very fine, very, very fine margins. I can barely tell that it's getting better. So we'll see. 2 weeks out. I'll do another update. I've got to go back to my oral surgeon in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, a month post the surgery. So I might do another update then. We'll see where we're at in a month. And then after that, I might do another one at 6 months, 3 months. We'll see. That's the nerve pain, though. The rest of the recovery has been going well. What do I want to say about that? I've had very little pain. Occasionally I get like a 1 or 2 out of 10 pain just in this jaw. It's like a very dull ache, slightly stabby pain in this jaw region. So it's not this part, it is where the surgery was. 2 weeks out, but I presume it's just normal. It's still recovering. I think it's again to do with blood pressure, and sometimes if I've eaten something maybe a bit sugary or spicy or something, and it's just inflamed the area. I think it's to do with that, so I think that's normal. Not worried about that too much. My stitches have only just kind of started to come loose. They're still there. I've got dissolvable stitches 2 weeks out. I read that they were supposed to kind of dissolve within 3 to 14 days. It can be quite a wide range. Well, I'm 2 weeks out today now. And actually, I just looked in the mirror this morning and I noticed that the stitches have just kind of come apart so that I can actually see the hole, the wound now. Now, it's very squeezed. I think the stitches were stitching like a part of my gum across to the inside of my gum and like covering that hole. And I think I can still see the dissolvable stitches there, but they're kind of like getting absorbed into my gum. And just today, I noticed that it looked like it had broken apart, so I can actually see the hole now. But it's just a little tiny slit, a little slither. It's quite narrow hole. But I think that's a good thing. I mean, for a while, I wasn't too bothered about it because in one sense, the fact that it was closed over meant that it was more protected from food getting in there. So I was kind of thinking, well, it's probably okay. Although there was a little hole, so I was thinking, well, it might be like a little bit of a cave where food's getting into the tiny hole, but then it's not going to get back out again. But I wasn't worried about it too much. But then today, I think I am kind of happy that it is starting to open now, because I just think if any food or debris gets in there, then a good mouthwash should clear that out now. So I don't know. I think it's all normal. So yeah, that's been fine. I'm still eating relatively soft foods. Everywhere I go online, they talk about you can get back to crunchy foods and all these kind of types of foods sooner than I'm doing, like maybe just a week or so. But I'm just trying to be ultra careful because I don't want to have any infection or problem at all because my nerve actually goes through that route. I don't want to have to go back for those routes. I don't want to get an infection or something. So I really don't want to have any problem. So I'm being super careful with food. So I'm still, most of my diet was already soft foods anyway. I've started introducing like cereals, but cereals kind of get soggy in the milk anyway, so it's still relatively soft. The main things I'm avoiding at the moment are nuts and seeds. I used to have like walnuts and flaxseed and stuff like that. Strawberries, the little seeds, anything with seeds in. I just don't want to get something like that stuck in my in the wound. And I suppose I haven't really started eating meats like, I don't know, like a sausage or a burger, anything that's kind of too tough to get your teeth into. But to be honest, I probably could now. I probably could. It all feels, it's a weird surreal thing where my mouth feels almost like I could just eat anything, and I have to constantly kind of rein myself back in and say, hang on, don't eat that, even though I feel like I could. It's been like that since the surgery. Like, the very first day I had the surgery, I felt fine. It's not like when you're sick and you can't do exercise. Like, my body felt fine, but I have to kind of tell myself to stop, to slow down, otherwise, because I don't want to get high blood pressure and stuff. So I've been doing the same with my what I eat. I've still been going careful, still been eating on this right side, just in case. Even though when I'm eating, it's so naturally tempting to just start eating on the left all the time, because that's just what you normally do. Subconsciously, you don't think about it. And I'm still kind of trying to kind of focus and just make sure I eat on this right hand side. I don't want anything going on that left hand side for as long as possible. So that's happening. And also another thing that's good is that I'm not chewing my cheek anymore, because that was something I noticed in the first week. That my cheek was a bit inflamed and I couldn't bite down, but I can bite down fine now on right and left. There's no chewing of my cheek anymore. Not really. So that's not really a problem. So yeah, recovery's going fine. Yeah, back to almost back to normal. If I didn't have this nerve pain here, I think I'd feel great. I'd feel fine, and it would be a bit of an illusion, really. I think I'd be totally back to normal. So yeah, it's just things like that, just seeds and nuts and just hard foods, just trying to go careful. And like crisps and crunchy foods as well, because the risk there is that if you bite something solid on that left on the wound and it pokes into that wound, you could open it again. And I've got this little tiny little mark on my arm here. The other day I had a little cut on it, and after about a week or two I picked the scab. I don't know why, just subconscious, it wasn't focusing, and I picked the scab, and then that was like months ago, and I still got a tiny mark there. It's nearly gone, but I still got a tiny mark there, and I think that's what happens. You delay the healing so much, you could potentially have a permanent scar. So I don't want to. I want to let my body heal, do its full healing in the first month or two, if I can do that. So I don't want to disrupt it. And the only other thing I was going to say is things to do to help your nerves heal. If anybody's in this situation, there's a load of foods you can eat. A lot of them I was already eating, but dairy foods, yogurts, milk, and kefir I'm eating at the moment. Eggs are good for nerve repair, apparently. Avocados are a superfood. I don't particularly like avocados, but I've been trying to eat it as just like medicine because apparently it's really good. Omega-3, like sardines and fatty fish, or something like sardines and I don't know, other types of fish like that. That's apparently good. Broccoli or leafy greens and citrus. Now, some of these I've been avoiding anyway. Citrus is acidic. You shouldn't eat it because it can, inflame the wound. But I think now I'm 2 weeks out, I could probably start having some more of that now. Same with broccoli. I think it's soft enough. It's probably not going to get trapped in the hole. And if it does, I could wash it out, or it could be it would dissolve, digest. So I think it would be all right. Sardines as well. The sardines I eat have like soft bones, and I think if I eat it on my right hand side, I should be all right. So all that's fine. Then the other ones are like nuts and seeds and berries, but again, they've all got. I'm avoiding those three. They're good for nerve repair, but I'm avoiding them. So that's it. Yeah, I never know how to make these videos. I just kind of like fire hydrant all my thoughts out in a big kind of flurry. I don't imagine many people are going to watch anyway. But that is the gist then. So yeah, there's the tooth. Had a coronectomy. Everything's gone fine apart from this nerve damage, but we shall see what happens with that. Yep, and I've got another checkup in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, so I might do another update video then. Any questions? Leave it below. I'll leave it there. Okie dokie. Thanks for listening. See you later. Bye bye.